Deepavali is one of the famous festivals of India. Deepavali is a festival of Indians celebrated all over the world. What is this Deepavali festival? How did this Deepavali festival come about to take this grandeur and this spread not only within the land of India but all over the world? What is the antiquity of this Deepavali festival? How has this festival evolved over the ages across the land and come down to this day to be celebrated as a world festival? What does the word Deepavali mean? The word Deepavali has got two components to it. Deepa and Avali. Deepa is light. Diya, light. Vilakku. Avali means row of. So Deepavali means a row of lights, a string of lights. When do you need a row of lights, a string of lights? Especially in the evening, after the sunset. And in which part of the year do you need it even more? When the nights get longer and the days get shorter.
And the evening starts earlier.
That is when you need this row of lights, Deepavali. That is why we celebrate the festival of Deepavali in the month of October, when the evenings get much longer. So it suits the season, the rhythm, it suits the Rita to have the Deepavali then. So it's a row of lights and celebrated all over the town. When you have shimmering lights, glimmering lights all over the land, across every village and every town, it's so beautiful to see. It's a sight to behold. That's the beauty of Deepavali. But is this festival always been called Deepavali?
And also, is it just for one day that you light these lamps? Because we say that this is when the nights are getting longer, the dusk sets in earlier, and you still have time on your hand, but the sun is gone, you can't do any more outdoor activities, but then you are not, it's still too early to sleep. So what do? So that is when you light up lamps, but then that's not for one day. If you look at it, this Deepavali is a season. It's a season of lights and has been celebrated for well over a month during this time of the year. And so it also had a very different name.
So Deepavali was originally, millennia ago, was a 1 month festival that you celebrated for a month of lighting this row of lamps every day in the evening. Now in the modern times, the way we have abridged everything to SMS, short messages, short films, quick quips, quotes, etc. We have also abridged the festival from a full 1 month long festival to just a couple of days festival. In our hurly-burly of time, we have also abridged this.
And in those days, it used to be called Kaumudi Mahotsava. So Kaumudi, it means it is from the word Kumud. Kumud means water lily. So it is a season of water lily, and it is a season to celebrate the water lilies. And water lilies, these are lovely white flowers that come in all the lakes, which are brimming with water after the monsoons. So this is the season when the lilies bloom, and every water body of India used to be full with these water lilies.
And water lilies, because only if you have water in them, water lilies. So obviously this festival of Kaumudi Mahotsav can be celebrated only after the monsoon is over and when the water bodies are full. So what does it mean when the water bodies are full? That means there's prosperity all around. For plants to grow, trees to fruit for you, and everything. So it is a festival time, really festival time of prosperity, of fullness, brimming fullness of waters in all the water bodies. And nature shows that happiness by bringing forth all these beautiful water lilies.
To understand and appreciate this Kaumudi Mahotsava, let's just imagine, okay? This is the time when winter is setting in, monsoons have stopped, the sky is clear, not much cloud. So the moonlight can really penetrate and reach the ground. And here it is reaching the water bodies, and the moonlight is shimmering over the water bodies. You have these white lilies in all the kumud, in all the water bodies, and the evenings are starting much earlier, so the people are lighting up rows of lamps in front of their houses. So this is typically in the month of Kartik. So in the month of Kartik is when all this festivities is happening, and this is the kind of scene, when it is dark, you have white lilies and the moonlight, and you have the rose of light. So this is what is the Utsav, the festival to uplift the spirits of people when the winter evenings are setting in. And that has been the whole season that has been celebrated in India.
So you can well imagine the scene in your inward eye as how beautiful the landscape will be. So that is the festivity of Deepavali. Through the ages, what's happened is different events have taken place in this Deepavali season. In the Kaumudi Mahotsav season, different festivals through the times have taken place. So all those festivities have been added into this Kaumudi Mahotsav Deepavali festival and merged together to have one single long stretch of beautiful festival. Now it stretches for about 5, 6, 7, 8 days. Let's see some of these festivals that make up this Kaumudi Mahotsav festival.
So it starts with day 1, which we celebrate even today as the Trayodashi. So on the Trayodashi,
that is Trayodashi is 13th day.
13th day. It's the 13th day of the moon's fortnight, and it's 2 days before the new moon, that is Amavasya of Kartik month. So on the Trayodashi, people celebrate it as they also call it Dhan Teras. Teras meaning 13th, and Dhan Teras, that means it's the 13th day associated with Dhan or wealth. Why
Dhanam.
have they called it as Dhan Teras? So if you look at it, this is the day that is celebrated for Dhanvantri. Dhanvantri is the
divinity for health, good health, well-being. Okay?
He is also regarded as the physician, the master physician.
The divine physician. So what happens is, and where does this Dhanvantri come from? He comes from the waters.
If you go back to the legends, when the Samudra Manthan is happening, Dhanvantri emerges from the waters and he carries in his hand a pot of Amrit, nectar, as well as he has Jaloka, which is a leech. So these are all symbols of Ayurveda today. And Dhanvantri he is regarded as the master or lord for Ayurveda.
So what this symbolizes to us is that good health comes from the waters. Because after all, our body is made up of 70% waters. If there is good balance in our body of the waters in our body, then we have good health. So important is the balance there of having good health, that one. Other point is when you say Dhan, wealth, Dhanvantri denotes health. So the best wealth is good health. That is what it denotes there. Then from that day you go on to
and actually on that day, if you see in South India, there are 2 ways in which it is celebrated. One is in the north, people actually tend to buy wealth on Dhanteras. So that's a day because it denotes a day of wealth. People purchase wealth on Dhanteras. In the south, if you see, many people actually make something called a marind, which means medicine.
Deepavali Lehyam.
So it's made up of a few herbs, and all of these are put together, ground, and
in ghee,
and it's mixed with ghee and honey and jaggery and so on, and that is made on the Dhanteras day. Of course, it's typically consumed the next day, but then this is made in significance of Dhanvantri's birthday, the Dhanteras, which is held as Dhanvantri's birthday. It is actually made for Dhanvantri on the Dhanteras.
This is very similar to the Chavanprash that we have.
Absolutely.
Because Chavanprash is a dish made by Rishi Chavana. So that's why it's Chavanprash. It's like that. This is Dhanvantri's medicine that you make. Each house makes it. Each household makes this Deepavali Lehyam, they call it, medicinal herb they make. It's good for digestion of the body, because when you eat so much for Diwali, you need good digestion. So it's a digestive ball that you're supposed to have that. Then you come to the day of Naraka Chaturdashi. Chaturdashi is
14th day.
The 14th day. And you come to Naraka Chaturdashi. Who is this Naraka? He is Naraka Asura. Naraka Asura. The word Asura here has been used widely all across the land at different times. But actually the word meaning Asura means one who is spirited. Asura, one who is spirited. Sura, Asura. So anybody who is highly spirited, in high spirits, is an Asura. So it's
who is
Naraka
full
Asura.
of Josh,
Josh.
and who is full of vigor, and who likes to possess, who likes things, and who is very fervent. They are typically they get categorized as Asura, and incidentally, even the Devas, if you look at very ancient texts, Devas were also called Asura, Asuric, that is the nature. So it is a very a vigorous, fervent nature is called Asuric. And later on, it got divided into Asura and Sura
Sura.
to mean, to get a connotation of the bad and the good, or the Asura and the Deva. But Asura actually means the spirited people, and Narakasura was one such very spirited king who ended up as a tyrant itself. And it was prophesied that he would meet his end at the hands of a woman, so he had captured all the princesses of neighboring lands and then
Imprisoned them.
all of them. So and he was causing a lot of trouble therefore to the people in his kingdom and all the neighboring kingdoms.
Geographically, his kingdom about 5,100 years back, because Narakasura is a contemporary of Krishna. So we know Krishna lived about 5,100 years ago. And this Narakasura, region of his kingdom geographically is Pragjotishpuram, which is today geographically, you can place it around western Assam, below Sikkim, that Sikkim belt, northern West Bengal. That area is where Pragjotishpuram was. Jyoti, again light, it's all about light, Pragjotishpuram. So he was a king there, and Krishna went to quell him to release the various princes that Narakasura had imprisoned. About 16,000 of them or so he had imprisoned. So Krishna went to defeat Narakasura. In that battle engagement, what happened was, it was Satyabhama, the wife of Krishna, who had accompanied Krishna, who engaged Narakasura in a battle and vanquished him. So here we speak about a woman, queen, who was valorous, well trained in archery and other techniques of warfare, and who could have the courage and the strength to stand in the chariot along with her husband, go to battlefield to fight an Asura who had already encaptured over 16,000 women, and win and defeat and vanquish this Narakasura. So it shows the valor of women even then. It's one.
So this vanquishing of Narakasura by Krishna is said, it happened on the Chaturdashi day, that is the 14th phase of the moon, and that day is celebrated again as one of the days of Deepavali.
Deepavali. So,
and interestingly, what happens is, this is a particular aspect which is celebrated more in a few states of India. If you see, it is celebrated in southern India, Tamil Nadu predominantly, also in Goa. In Goa, it is a very, very prominent. So Deepavali revolves around Naraka Chaturdashi in Goa as well, just the way as it does in
Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, all these places. So look at this. Pragjotishpuram and the encapturing of the 16,000 women and killing of Narakasura by Satyabhama happened in northern West Bengal near Sikkim and Assam. But it's celebrated joyously today even in Tamil Nadu and Goa and Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. That means what? This land has culturally been one, geographically been one over 5,100 years, and festivities around the different aspects of this land are celebrated across the land continuously. So that shows that this land is one cultural, geographical entity across 5 millennia and more.
And here, if you see, interestingly, the way of celebrating Naraka Chaturdashi is, it is done early in the morning and it is done with an oil bath. And before the oil bath, people are asked to burst firecracker. This happens in Goa as well, where in Goa they make an effigy of Narakasura and then they burn that effigy. Whereas in Tamil Nadu, they just burst firecracker, then go for their bath, and then they enter into celebrations. So it shows that how fireworks, there has been so here you see a connect with the use of firework. Fireworks in India, if you see, have been used to announce something. So typically, if you see when gods leave the temple and go on procession,
Utsav Murti, processional deity goes out, you have what is called as Adirvetu,
so
announcing the departure of the divine in a processional form from the temple into the streets of the town.
So that is when fireworks have been used, and even today in Tamil Nadu you will find that death processions, they are in a way a kind of celebration where there will be fireworks that will be at the lead, and the fireworks will lead the procession, the funeral procession. So fireworks have been used to announce death as well. And from there you can see a beautiful correlation as to why people in the south do their fireworks early in the morning, whereas people in the north have been doing it later in the evening. Because in the morning they are doing it as an announcement that Naraka has been vanquished, he's been quelled, he has been killed by Satyabhama, and so now it is time to celebrate. It is an announcement of his death. And if you also look at traditions, in India, after a death, you normally have a head bath. So that goes again with the concept of Naraka has been killed, but Naraka is also the son of Bhuma Devi, Mother Goddess,
Mother Earth.
So in that sense, he is also akin to everybody. So which is why everybody has a head bath to kind of relieve themselves of the sorrow of Naraka's death as well. And so you have the firework and the head bath, but being a joyous occasion and a celebration, it is associated with an oil bath, and then sweets follow.
What we see here is the connection between firecrackers and celebration going back to 5,000 years and more. So it's a very Indic idea of firecrackers, a very Indian way of celebrating, and it's integral part of the celebration. It's not extraneous to celebration, or was it not brought in late into the celebration. Actually it goes back. And even more interesting is that Tamil Nadu has had a series of Siddhars. That is, great Rishi in Tamil Nadu are known as Siddhar. And Tamil Nadu has over at least 18 Siddhars. There are some texts, prominent Siddhars. There were some texts speak about prominent Siddhars being 18, some speak about 32, some speak about 36, some speak about a few hundred. But at least there are a body of Siddhars through the time who have enriched this land with knowledge and related it to the people of their times. What has happened is, one of the prominent Siddhars of this land is a Siddhar by name Bogar, who lived probably about 5,000 years ago. This Bogar Siddhar specialized in the field of chemistry, mixing chemicals, and with this skill of mixing chemicals, he made a statuette of Skanda, Kumara, the son of Shiva and Parvati, on top of a hill in western Tamil Nadu in a place called Palani. He made a statue of Skanda, and it's got a stick in his hand. So it's called Dandayuda Pani. There's official name of the deity there, of the Vigraha there. And it is not made of stone, but it is made of Nava Pashanam, that is 9 special herbs. Or Nava could mean 9, or Nava could mean new. So new chemical mixed herbs it was made of. So that is the Nava Pashanam. So this Siddhar is written a treatise called Bogar Yedairam, means 7,000 verses. In this Bogar Yedairam, 7,000 verses, he clearly writes about how to make firecrackers. So 5,000 years back itself, when this body of Siddhars lived in this land, less than a century after the Mahabharata events, many of them lived in this land. So then itself, they have Bogar Yedairam has clearly written as to how to make this Vedi, uses the word Vedi Uppu. Uppu means salt, all these are chemical salts, and uses the word in there called Vedi Uppu, that is explosive salt. So the different saltpeters that you can make out of it. So this knowledge of how to make explosives with these salts, Vedi Uppu, mentioned therein. So right from Tamil Nadu to Bengal, Surat, all over the land, this Vedi Uppu concept has spread and has been a very Indian way of celebrating Deepavali.
the fact remains that fireworks have been an integral part of the lifestyle of celebrations, announcements, and so on, as well as the technology also existed. So both together go hand in hand. Tradition and technology both show that these have been a very ancient way of celebrations in India, and fireworks are not new to India, or they haven't come in. And Deepavali is a time when these were used.
So the festival of Deepavali and fireworks are an integral part of each other for the past 5,000 years and more in this land. Because some people sometimes say, they use the word China Patasu. Patasi means firecracker, and China is Chinese, and they say it came from China. No. Yes, there were probably some firecrackers were made in China. They were made there, not probably. They were made in China about 1,000 years back. There's stories in China about it. But Boger's Yadayiram very clearly speaks of very up to 5,000 years back itself. So it shows the antiquity and the precedence of making firecrackers and celebrating with Deepavali. So every Deepavali, it is a duty of every Indian to burst some amount of firecrackers and celebrate this traditional, ancient festival of the land with joyousness. That's why what we call this festival as Deepavali is a sound festival of lights. Because it's a festival of both sound and light. That's the beauty of it. And if you go back 500 years back to the times of the king Krishnadeva, who ruled from Vijayanagaram, the famous king who ruled the Deccan from Hampi, there is a Mahanavami Dibba. That is, every Navaratri on the Navami day the procession takes place. Now you have procession in Dashera on the 10th day in Mysore, the famous Dashera processions of Mysore you have. Everybody watches it, it's live telecast all over India and people watch it. And thousands of people throng for the Dasara processions at Mysore, where you got the Jumbo Savari, Chamundi comes, everybody, and then the Raja of Mysuru is there. It happens in front of the Mysore palace, they all see it. The precedence for that, you see, is the Mahanavami Dibba, where the Mahanavami time, a similar procession used to take place in Krishnadeva time. And that procession was preceded by fireworks. And this procession was preceded by fireworks is written by an Italian traveller by name Barbosa. So the fireworks is very native to India. Similarly, if you look, so you have seen the Deccan.
Even during Mughal rule, it was very prominent. In Delhi during marriage processions, it was prominent. But you can see that this goes way back in India, and so this is we are talking about this because today there is a confusion. Should we burst firecrackers on Diwali? It's not environment friendly? Yes, today it has come to some scale where there is some amount of carelessness or disregard in people for elders and others and so on, but it is a tradition as well to celebrate it with firecrackers. So we need to arrive at the right balance of how to keep the tradition alive, how to be environment friendly, and how to also have regard for safety and well-being of elders as well as animals. If we can come up with a good mix of all this, then one can really celebrate Diwali with firecrackers, keeping the tradition alive.
While in South, Diwali is celebrated as Naraka Chaturdashi, if you go west to Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan and such places, it is celebrated as Lakshmi Puja. And they start their new financial accounts on that day. Why is that? Because that is when the monsoon is over, the lakes are brimming, the harvest is done, the new crops have come in, so they celebrate the new. So that is when, so see how it is all linked to nature in an agrarian society and linked to prosperity. That's also Lakshmi comes in. The focus of life is that agrarian society, Lakshya, so the focus of life, so they bring it in beautifully there. So Lakshmi Puja. You move up north to Uttar Pradesh. What is it celebrated? Ayodhya, where Rama returns victorious and bringing back Sita after defeating Ravana, and more importantly, after 14 years in Vanavasa, that is living in the forest. So it's joyous return of the prince, of the dear prince of the land. So what do? They light up the whole Nagara of Ayodhya with lights, with a series of lights. What do you call it? Deepavali. So lighting of lights. So in Deepavali time, Ayodhya has a tradition, and all of Uttar Pradesh have a tradition of lighting Deepavali across the land, commemorating the return of Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, all of them. And after that is the Bharat Milap. So you have the Bharat Milap, Rama and Bharata meeting. So that's a festival.
And
So,
this is all on the third day, in the sense the Trayodashi, the Chaturdashi, and then you come to Amavasya. That is the new moon day. So Kartik Amavasya, and that is the day there is no moon, and that's that's the best time to enjoy the series of lights when there is the dark sky. And that is the day you actually find all these Deepavali lamps being lit in Ayodhya and all over.
Everywhere. Then if you go a little west to Mathura, to Braj Bhumi, the land of Braj. Okay, what do you have there? The festival of Govardhan Giri. That is Krishna lifting Govardhana on his little finger.
So that is the first day after Amavas. So that is called the Govardhan Puja. And in other places in Gujarat and many other places, it is also celebrated as Annakut. So just like Govardhan, Krishna lifting the Govardhan Giri, they make a hill of food, all various dishes, Annakut. They make a kind of a whole pile of dishes are spread out, and again that is in celebration for Krishna as well. So that is the connection with
Govardhan Giri.
Govardhan Puja.
And what they do when they do is Annakut, what is it they do? Everybody makes sweets in all their houses, brings it together as a community, celebrate Annakut together, and share the sweets with the whole community. So those who have made, those who have brought, those who have not brought, those who have not been able to make. So it's a community sharing. Mass community sharing is Annakut. It's a beautiful way of sharing, celebrating, and sharing the prosperity of the time. That's the beauty of it. So you got
and
this.
And then the next day, the second day after new moon, in the growing phase. So after Annakut, the next day, if you look at it, you have shared with the community. The second day is called Bhai Dooj in many places of India, and that is the day when the brothers, give their offerings to their sister. So typically, if you see, during Raksha Bandhan, the sisters would have tied a rakhi for the brother, and on Bhai Dooj, the brothers reciprocate by taking a lot of offerings to the sister's house. So that is called Bhai Dooj. Now, here is something that we have to really appreciate as a tradition that one can see. This is the invisible thread that is binding the entire civilization as one. Now, for much part of India, northern India, the southwest monsoon, which is from June to September, October, that is the main monsoon season, and you've had the harvest, and you've had therefore celebrated Diwali, and you're taking a share of that harvest and the bounties and going and giving it to the daughters of your house, that is your sisters, who have gone to their respective houses. So the brothers are taking it and going and giving it there. This is as far as much of north and western parts of India are concerned. Now, what happens in the southern parts of India?
Especially Tamil Nadu, coastal Andhra Pradesh.
If you see, it is the northeast monsoon, which is typically from September, October to about November, mid to late November.
December.
That is when there is monsoon. And after that, you have your paddy crops growing, and you have your harvest in January, just before Sankranti. So when do the southern part celebrate? So
equal to Bhai Dooj.
Equivalent of Bhai Dooj. So in Sankranti, after that 1 or 2 days after Sankranti, it's the second day after Sankranti, the brothers take all the bounties and go and give it to their sisters. So in southern parts of India, Andhra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and all, you will find this same thing, the Bhai Dooj kind of a sentiment and action happening after the harvest here. and that is after Pongal, so in Sankranti. So this is a sentiment that has governed whole of India. It's just that it happens at different times, but this
Based
is
on
a
this local
beautifully
season.
common connecting thread that you can
Brother
find,
and sister connect.
brother sister connect, that you
Is
can
there.
find happening after harvest. So
And it is called Kannipidi, where the lady of the house goes to her brother's house or parental house, mother's house, to keep the Kannipidi offering. So that is done. So that is how it is interlinked, India. And going back to Deepavali, in Bihar, if you look at it, it is celebrated as Chhat Puja. Chhat Puja is the 6th day celebrated, and they celebrate the sun from morning sunrise to evening sunset. The women of the house. So it is all this happens in this 1 month festival of Kaumudi Mahotsav. And again, coming back to Southeast India and Odisha, what happens is, in the end of the Kaumudi Mahotsav, you have the Kartik Utsav. That's again this Deepavali like sort of series of lights.
So from in you have Deepavali being celebrated on Kartik Amavas, so which is the new moon day, and that is the Deepavali, today's abridged Deepavali festival of 4 to 5 days. And then you go one fortnight and you reach the Kartik Purnima. That is again celebrated down south as a festival of lights. So what was a festival of lights in the north on Amavasya is actually a festival of lights in south in Purnima day. So on Kartik Purnima day you find the festival of lights in southern India. So here during Deepavali they celebrated Naraka Chaturdashi rather than the lights. So they had the fireworks and the Naraka Chaturdashi and the Dhanvantri Dhanteras, and then they go on to celebrate the Kartik Purnima down south as the festival of row of lights. So there you see that, you can see that Deepavali was not just a one-day festival, but it is a season of lights, season of a festival.
Full month-long festival. So from this Deepavali onwards, and every coming Deepavali, let us celebrate the whole month of Deepavali as Kaumudi Mahotsav, and celebrate the prosperity and good health and sharing with our family members and community at large, and celebrate it with our customary crackers as a very Indian unique way of celebration that has come down to us 5,000 years and more, and celebrate it with caution, celebrate it respecting everybody, celebrating the caution, the environment, the elders, the animals, everybody, but celebrate it as a sound festival of lights with crackers, lights, prosperity, sweets, new clothes and tradition along with modernity.
And along with ensuring that all the water bodies are full with water. So ensuring that the water bodies are restored so that they can get back their waters in rain, they can store the waters, and we can get back our Kaumudi, the Kumuds, back in all these water bodies as another row of lights to light up our dark nights.
That will be a real Deepavali, the years to come, with seeing all our water bodies brimming with waters. Wish you all a very happy Deepavali.